Hello, welcome to another Deck Musings. So, we're up to here now in terms of the standard timeline. And so, yeah, this is the biggest the standard's going to get for a while. Because we have Cold Snap, the whole of Time Spiral block in here, 10th edition, and then both of the mini blocks, so that's the Lorwyn one and the Shadowmoor one. And then suddenly, when we look at it next week, which will be interesting, so much goes out that we drop back to 1,481 cards in standard, because we lose all of Time Spiral and also Cold Snap set, and it starts ticking up again. So something to think about for the future. So what's happening here is that, and the tournament we're looking at has got a lot of nationals going on at the moment around this time. So I'm going to take a look at the Canadian nationals, and the deck in particular, which is mono red aggro. I'm going to do this particular one here. So I'm not going to concentrate on the actual winning deck, which was a five colour lark combo, mainly because there were quite a number of cards in here that we've already spoken about, and also I needed to make sure I wanted to include stuff from the most recent set as well. So I've gone with this, and it's been a while as well since we've looked at a mono red aggro deck. So let's have a look at the deck, and we will change this to, what should we have? I think grid would be a good idea. And we will sort this by mana value. There we go. Do I want to make that a little bit smaller? I don't know really. Maybe I'll leave it like that, because you see the cards a bit better. So we have in the creature block, we have 4 figures of destiny. So these are red white 1/1. It becomes a 2/2 Kithkin Spirit. Red white 3 red white. If figure of destiny is a spirit, it becomes a 4/4 Kithkin Spirit Warrior. And then this one, which is 6 red white hybrid. If figure of destiny is a warrior, it becomes an 8/8 Kithkin Spirit Warrior avatar with flying and first strike. So it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And in some ways, I suppose you could say this was a foreshadowing of things that went on later around the time of, what would be Zendikar block, that sort of period, where they started to play around. I think it was in that block, and it was probably World Wake from what I remember. No doubt we'll get to look at it. But yeah, there was some stuff going on with adding counters to creatures to alter the statistics of them. Also in here we've got 4 Mogg Fanatics, single red 1/1, and you can sack it and it does 1 damage to target creature or player. We've got 4 Boggart Ram-Gangs, so 3 red green red green red green, so 3/3 with haste and wither, so does damage to creatures in the form of -1/-1 counters. 4 Magus of the Moon, so 2 in a red 2/2 non-basic lands and mountains, and 4 Demigods of Revenge. So yeah, this is what's that, 5 black red hybrid, 5/4 with flying haste, and when you play it, return all cards named Demigod of Revenge from your graveyard to play. Now when you look at the mana base in a moment, we'll see what we've got land wise, but you'll notice, if we sneak peek, although this is snow coloured lands. It is, everything's generating red mana. So we're leveraging these hybrids, but we never have to use green mana or white mana because it's hybrid mana, so we can just invest red into this. And I imagine that was quite interesting and around this time period, this block in particular, where they were using hybrid mana a lot, because it did allow for certain monocolour decks to exist that maybe with certain cards, or maybe you didn't see in those colours before. Instant wise, we've got 4 Incinerates, 1 and a red. It deals 3 damage to target creature or player. A creature dealt damage this way can't be regenerated this turn. 4 Lash Outs, 1 and a red. Deals 3 damage to target creature. Clash with an opponent. If you win, Lash Out deals 3 damage to that creature's controller. 4 Flame Javelins. 2 red hybrid mana. So this is interesting in that you got some choices here, but again, in this deck, because everything's like mono red, it's not a problem. But supposing this was in a deck where you had other colours apart from red and you didn't have access to red mana, then it gives you a way of generating mana in other colours. However, it's a cost of 2 mana of any colour or red, so that makes the converted mana cost actually to be 6 on here, even though there are instances when you can just pay as 3 red. So yeah, so it deals 4 damage to target creature or player. That's interesting. I don't know if it would be a feature in here, but obviously that's something that's you can mess with in certain decks and can be leveraged where something is looking at the converted mana cost. So I imagine they had to be really careful in standard at that time in terms of not creating something that would interact egregiously with this because of the converted mana cost. We got 3 Ghitu Encampments. So comes into play tapped to add red to your mana pool. 1 and a red. Ghitu Encampment becomes a 2/1 red warrior creature with first strike until end of turn. It's still a land. And then we got 21 basic snow lands, which are these mountains from Cold Snap. 4 sorceries, Rift Bolt. 2 and a red. Deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Suspend 1. Rather than play this card from your hand, you may pay red to remove it from the game with a time counter on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a time counter. When you move it last, play it without paying its mana cost. We've got a sideboard here. So we've got 4 Dragon Claws, 2 to cast. Whenever a player plays a red spell, you may gain 1 life. 3 Faerie Macabres, 1 and 2 black for a 2/2 with flying. Discard it. Remove up to 2 target cards in graveyards from the game. 4 Manabarbs. So whenever a player taps a land for mana, Manabarbs deals 1 damage to that player. So this is an across-the-board effect, but it works in it. You can take advantage of it in some ways in decks where you've got a lot of low mana cards, or cards that don't require much mana, because the logic being is with this in play, hopefully you're tapping less land for mana than your opponent. So yeah, 4 Murderous Redcaps, 2 black red 2/2. When it comes into play, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player, and it's got persist. And then we've got the individual cards we're going to look at now. So yeah, there's these snow-covered mountains in here instead of just the regular mountains, but they do tap for red. And I don't know whether there's really much to add to this. There's just one piece of artwork for this, and over the years there's been several cycles of basic lands like this. As you can see, if I do it by release date, it's a bit easier to see, and then Ascending. So we've got the original Ice Age ones, the ones from Cold Snap, these ones which are in Modern Horizons. Interestingly enough, because they did actually print lands in Modern Horizons, but these were the basic snow lands. Then secret lair drop stuff, some Kaldheim, more secret lair drop stuff, and more secret lair drop stuff. And then also you've got ones like these which were snow-covered wastes as well. Okay, so this is from 10th edition, and this is one of a cycle we have seen before. It's actually originally from Urza's. They've been reprinted a few times, and we've seen this on various weeks. Again, if I do this by release date, then it's a bit easier to see. Okay, these are Lash Outs from Lorwyn. Burn player, burn with set mechanic, removal creature burn. So we've seen these sort of cards before. So you can see here it's got this business of clashing with an opponent. So if you win, Lash Out deals 3 damage to that player's controller. Each clashing player reveals the top card of his or her library, then puts that card on the top or bottom. A player wins if his or her card has had a higher converted mana cost. And you can see burn with set mechanic gives you a whole range of things that are stapled onto burn spells. And you know, starting way back in the day. Right from Goblin Grenade. That's under that category. In this one, you know, it's cumulative upkeep. I'm trying to think what would be. I suppose it's simply. I suppose Fallen Empires was themed around certain creature types, so yeah, that would be considered to be with the set mechanic. You can see here, Sotari Gorillas has got Shadow. It's a form of burn spell there, just because of the way it does things. Flame Jet, Flame Shot, Rhystic Lightning, Scorching Lava, Smouldering Tar, Singe, Illuminate, and so on. Demigod of Revenge. More Shadow, more stuff. Okay, so there's a cycle of these, and what you'll notice, let's just bring this up, if I go into here, so look, yeah, if you look, you can see here, half of them were in Shadowmoor and half of them were in Eventide. And the Shadowmoor ones, you'll notice, were allied colours. So this is the one we're looking at from this deck. These are enemy colours, and these were completed, so we had the full sort of double cycle of 10 completed in Eventide. If you look at Boggart Ram-Gang, and you might see echoes of this across these sets actually. Yeah, so another one like this. So there you go. Same thing, see? Allied colour ones, this is the one we're looking at, and then enemy colours. Incinerate from 10th edition. And there's, you know, a number of cards here that have links to this. So Incinerate, 1 and a red for 3 damage with regeneration, and then you've got Lightning Bolt, which is just a single red, but it has, you know, it doesn't, I don't know if I said that correctly, but a creature dealt damage this way can't be regenerated this turn. You don't get that clause in Lightning Bolt. Then we've got, it's better than Open Fire, so you'll find there's a lot of, like, you know, 2 CMC 3 damage spells, I suspect, and other things as well. But it's going to be probably comparing against mainly those. I mean, that one there is a 3 CMC. All the others are 2. And then Jaya has actually on it, I think. Where is it? Yeah, but in a different way. You're 1 and a red and then discarding a card. So you've got Burn Any. And there's loads. Now, if I was to actually just specifically look at Incinerate and view all the prints just to see how long it's been, you know, kicking around. And there we go. Then we've got Flame Javelin. So this one, let's see what have we got anything else here that was part of a. Yeah, again. Yeah, a lot of cycles here. So this one's fairly straightforward. It's just, you know, 2-bridge spells. These were called. That was a good term. 2-bridge spell. So Spectral Procession, Advice from the Fae, Beseech the Queen, Flame Javelin, Tower Above. Going to see whether there is a tag actually for 2-brid. No, it doesn't say. What's Slaying Fire? 3 damage, Adamant. If at least three red mana was spent to cast this spell, it deals 4 damage instead. Okay. Alright. So this was in Shadowmoor. I wonder if there was anything in the next set related to that. Let's have a look. Just seeing. Okay. Eventide. I always have trouble with these, like Law in Shadowmoor. You know, this whole period. So it must be what? Set EVE. Oh. I'm in the wrong thing, aren't I? Need to do it from here. Okay, mate. There we go. Right, so if I do red, actually, it would be, yeah, no, it wouldn't make any, yeah, so I don't think I can actually just scan down. Yeah, this set didn't have 2 red mana, did it? No. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to check. It shows you how relatively small, you know, these sets were. It's only, what, 180 cards. So it is a small set. When you compare it to sort of the, you know, what we've looked at before. So this particular one was from Shadowmoor as opposed to Eventide. And then if we look at that, SHM, oops. There we go, 301. So yeah, quite a big difference size-wise. And of course, I didn't go all the way down, but there was some, as you probably realise, because we've looked at 2-colour stuff. If we do ID2, you can see here we've got a number of the 2-colour things in the set. I'll include a link as well to the relevant stuff I've done, so set musings and various other things in the past, so you can orientate yourself a little better. But yeah, so yeah, both sets had a good degree of 2-colour stuff, but only, looks like only the first set of this small 2-set block, or this yeah, small 2-set block had 2 red mana. Magus of the Moon. So this is from Future Sight. So I'm just double checking we're not quite getting into. So non-basic lands are mountains. And that was a 3-drop there, just so we can see on the curve. So 2 1-drops, 2 3-drops, and then this, which is a 5-drop. Okay. Alliteration. Oh, okay, yeah. Forgot about that. Ah, that was a cycle then, right. Magus of the Magus of the Future, Magus of the Abyss, Magus of the Moon, Magus of the Vineyard. We got Mogg Fanatic. Sacrifice Mogg Fanatic. Mogg Fanatic deals 1 damage to target creature or player. And again, we've seen, you know, suddenly we're starting to see this word, this term martyr a lot, you know, I suppose recently. So, you know, this idea that creatures that sacrifice themselves for a benefit. So it's another martyr effect. Bombard self. Because you can. You know, this is 1 damage to target creature or player, so that can be any target creature or player. And notice it actually, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player. So yeah. But yeah, so burn anything. Better than Fire Bowman, better than Goblin Firestarter, better than Frostling. Figure of Destiny. So, just thinking, there's a lot to take in on this one, isn't there? When you look at this, need some thinking time. So let's maybe have a look here, because it wasn't part of any cycle. But yeah, this is the term I was trying to think of. That's what I was looking for. So these pseudo levelers, and you know, if you look at this. Where are we? And I do release date, and then do is first printing. There you go. Wooden First Tree, Ascendant Spirit, Evolved Sleeper, Surge Engine, Frodo Soren's Bane, and 10th District Hero. So yeah, it's definitely the first time we saw it, and then next time we saw one was in Faerie Force. However, you know, the leveler, as opposed to being a pseudo leveler, but an actual leveler, that then appeared en masse in a block, which we'll have a look at in a moment. But a couple of other things I wanted to point out here. So we got some shape changing going on, even though it doesn't say sort of shape shifter. I'm assuming because it's still, you know, a Kithkin, there is being a type change in as much as, you know, it starts out as a Kithkin Spirit, then it becomes a Kithkin Spirit Warrior, then it becomes a Kithkin Spirit Warrior Avatar. That's all. And there is, I believe, an avatar for that as well. Although that looks like that's Magic the Gathering Online. So, was it level up? Level up. In fact, let's do it a different way. Let's just do set. I think World Way was WWK. See, my problem is I always get a little bit confused around this time as to what set level up was in. So maybe it was actually in Zendikar. That was the first set of the block. But let's have a look. Or maybe it was actually in... Oh, okay. Was it in... Rise of the Eldrazi. Is my memory that bad? It was. Wow. There you go. Don't rely on my memory. Yeah, so it was. Yeah, that's right, because I tend to get rather confused, and I think I know what it is. I have a magazine. I think I've shown it before in one of the Things That Sparks Joy episodes or something similar, which covers a period between World Wake and Rise of the Eldrazi, and I remember there being some cards in there, but yeah, it's Rise of the Eldrazi card. So yes, sorry, it's Rise of the Eldrazi. So the third set of the block, but it was actually a large set, and it was designed to be drafted on its own, and you know, played as limited on its own. So yeah. We've got Rift Bolt, which has Suspend on it. And that's from Time Spiral. And yeah, we've had to look at a number of Suspend cards on and off now. So, better than Precision Bolt. Burn Player, Lightning Bolt Redux, Burn Any, Burn is Set Mechanic. Yep, so, you know, I suppose you could say similar sort of things that you see in terms of there are other, as we saw, like 2 and a red burn spells, or burn spells that cost less, but with this it does have suspend on it, but of course you have to do the counter thing, so you can suspend it for a single red, spend 1, so rather than play this card from your hand, you may pay red and remove it from the game with a time counter on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a time counter. When you move the last one, play it without paying its mana cost. But of course you can see it coming. So it's a sorcery speed. Yeah, I saw that one. Bolt. So not very subtle. It's not like, you know, instant speed, and you're not going to be able to play it during combat as a combat trick. Good old Manabarbs. It's been reprinted quite a few times. The first time I came across it was indeed 10th edition. It's been lurking around for a long time in Magic. If you look back to the early days, and we sort this by release date ascending, you get a better idea. But yeah, it's been kicking around for a while, sort of in and out of, you know, the core set through time. So, you know, you can go all the way back to original Alpha. We've got Unlimited collectors. This must be revised. It's a bit washed out. There was a different one for 5th edition, different artwork. You can see it's in 4th as well. So there was a good run, really through to 6th, and that was the last time. And then you get it here. So yeah, I think it's a cool card. I really like the artwork on this one, actually. More so probably than the original one. So there is something called Burning Earth, which is similar to, which is a 3. This is a 3 and a red as well, which is a 3 and a red enchantment. So whenever a player taps a non-basic land for mana, Burning Earth deals 1 damage to that player. Burn player, and then Symmetrical. And Symmetrical, yeah, there's a lot of symmetrical stuff in Magic. So yeah, 591 symmetrical cards. And yeah, you can see we're into sideboard territory now. So we've got Murderous Redcap in here, another hybrid card. I think we saw this last week, didn't we? So it's one of these ones that gains -1/-1 counters because it's got persist on it. But I don't see it being part of a cycle, interestingly enough. Also has what they call one-sided fight. So when it comes into play, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player. So that's really interesting. So you're getting what? A shock, aren't you, when it comes into play? So hence the higher cost here. So for 2, and in this deck you'll be just playing red, paying red mana. You get a 2/2 and 2 damage. Now it also has persist on it. So if it's put into graveyard from play and there's no -1/-1 counters on it, you return it. So it comes back, and then because it comes into play again, boom. So yeah. So actually, I don't know. There wouldn't be any advantage in doing that. I'm just thinking whether you would want to deliberately sacrifice this somehow. Yeah, not sure on that. Whether it would be worth it. Certainly, I mean, it's an interesting chump blocker, isn't it? Because you can block it, use it to block damage. It dies, comes back with persist, and then goes down to a 1/1, and then does 2 damage again. So Dragon's Claw. It's interesting inclusion in a mono red deck. If you're, going against a deck where you're both sort of against the clock and you're on a similar clock, it just gives you a little bit of an edge. And seeing as you're playing so many red spells in here, and we've seen this already, so as we know, it is indeed part of this Lucky Charm cycle. And then we've got Faerie Macabre. And it has this interesting activation from your hand where you discard it and you move up to 2 target cards in graveyard from the game. So interesting for dealing with certain, graveyard related threats. And there we have it. Hopefully you enjoyed that look through this particular deck. It was interesting to see this sort of deck, this mono red deck. And also, the fact that it was leveraging quite a number of hybrid mana cards as well. So there we have it. Thanks once again for watching. Bye for now. And I will catch you in a future episode.